Greetings and welcome to Chesapeake here in Athens, Ohio for the regular season opener featuring the Ohio Bobcats and the Duquesne Dukes. Alongside Ethan Sargent, I'm Sam Hyman. Glad you're with us here live on YouTube. Ethan, we'll start with this Ohio team. Aaron Rodgers, the head coach in his 10th season, says this is the deepest team from top to bottom that he's had in his coaching career at Ohio.
And that's reflected in the starting lineup, Sam. It's a really good mix of some youth, some newer sophomores and freshmen coming into the 11, and experience with some fifth years, some grad transfers, some seniors. That brings a great mix of that experience you need, but also that youth and that hunger to build for the future, and it all starts today.
For Duquesne, Al Alvine in his 12th season, he's looking to discover a lot of things about his team in this match because they weren't able to play that critical second exhibition prior to starting the regular season.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of adjustments over the course of the game. You know, missing out on that second scrimmage really hurts you as a coach. You know, you really want that scrimmage to make those adjustments in a game like that, in a game-like environment. But now we're in the real thing. This is the regular season, so he'll be interested to watch how his team develops, and Coach Alvine will have to make some changes during the game that he may not have had to make had he had that second scrimmage.
Yeah, no doubt. Good news is that Coach Al Alvine did say that he's in a better spot this year with that situation as opposed to last year because a lot of the players are back here in 2023. Ohio's player to watch, Ethan, is Scout Murray, a forward who's expected to really have a lot of high-volume opportunities, looks on cage here in 2023.
Yeah, Scout Murray is the player to watch this in these opening few games for the Ohio Bobcats. A sophomore, but she made her moments known last year in the 9-0 win that Ohio had against VMI last year. 2 goals and 2 assists, announcing herself on the big stage. She's starting today as a sophomore. She is the name to watch.
And she did score in the exhibition against Dayton this past weekend. For Duquesne, it's their goalie, and that's Maddie Neundorfer.
Yeah, when we spoke to Coach Al Alvine, he said playmaker. That was the word that he used to describe Maddie Neundorfer. And you don't hear that word used very often about a goalkeeper, which they were saying that she could hit a ball 40 yards on a frozen rope. That's impressive from a goalkeeper. We'll see her use her feet a lot more than you're accustomed to.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch as we're underway here at Chesapeake, Ohio in the white uniforms, Duquesne in the navy unis. Maya Solis whacks that one out on the near sideline. We'll get a Duquesne throw-in. Solis, one of 3 newcomers in the starting 11 for Aaron Rodgers' team, along with Ella Devers and freshman Jamison Brooker.
Yeah, and bringing those new injections into the team is so important. We were just talking about having that experience to blend in with that youth. Having players that have played at the highest level is so important, and it's going to be huge as Ohio lost a couple big transfers last year. Sydney Dawson, of course, was the big one that they're losing. Solis going to look to fill that void at the back.
Ohio also lost Reagan Berg to Oregon State and Abby Townsend, who led the MAC last season with 10 assists. But it is a new formation to start the season for Coach Rodgers, a 3-5-2 with 2 forwards. What does that do for Ohio early on, Ethan?
So what Coach Rodgers has instilled in this team is that he tells his wingbacks, which today it looks like it's going to be Rayan Pruss and Ella Devers. They're going to be flying up and down the wings. They might be the farthest players forward at one point and then the farthest players back. They're going to be probably running the most out of anybody on the field, and that allows your formation to be fluid, and it allows your midfield 3 of Janaki, Brooker, and Prigge to stay rigid in the middle while the wingers do the work, and that creates a lot of triangles on the field, and it creates a lot of chaos for opposing defenses.
It's a change that Coach Rodgers said due to personnel, and he believes, as we talked about it at the top, this is the most talented team on paper he's had from top to bottom. That doesn't necessarily mean from a starting 11 standpoint, but he believes that every person he puts out there is capable of making an impact.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of movement off the bench. We're going to see at least 16 or 17 players play, and having that many bodies that you feel confident in playing in a game is huge, because when it comes down to it, 80th and 90th minute, you need those players that are going to make the plays in the dying moments. Coach Rodgers feels confident that he has enough players to make those moments happen.
That ball sent just a bit too far ahead of Brianna Moore, the forward for Duquesne. Duquesne played 3 different formations in their lone exhibition against Robert Morris. Played a 4-3-3, a 4-4-2, and a 3-4-3. And this is a Dukes team that brings back all but one of their 9 goal scorers from a season ago. Team that went 6-7-3 overall, as that one's booted out of bounds by number 8 in Navy. That's Lindsey Kravchik, the sophomore defender.
Looks like as of right now they're set up in a 4-3-3 formation with two wingers up in the front of a three-pronged trident-like attack, and then it looks like they've got Cammie Taylor, number 9, kind of sitting right behind them as a center attacking mid, the number 10 role as it's called in soccer, just floating around in that midfield area, looking to pick up the ball and find those incisive passes behind the Ohio defense.
Ohio possession here for Ella Devers, Bowling Green transfer. She'll give way for 21 in white, Quentin Tostovan, the junior defender from Toronto. And here's our first glance at Maddie Neundorfer, the junior goalie from Monroeville, Pennsylvania.
We saw her use her hands there for a second, and having that ability as a goalkeeper to both throw the ball and kick the ball is huge, because you can make the same sort of passes with a throw that you can with your feet, and you can even put a little bit more control on those throws. So having that in your arsenal as a goalkeeper, but also being able to see those passes is so important. And, you know, when we just talked about Al Alvine, seeing her as a playmaker, she can see avenues that most goalkeepers may not be able to.
It's her second year as the starting goalie. Coach Al Alvine said that she's been so patient throughout the process during her career at Duquesne. Dukes with possession. Here's 23, Jenna Santiago. Dispossessed. Dukes looking to maintain control. Here's Scout Murray, sophomore from Chicago, sends it back to Quentin Tostovan.
Yeah, the thing about Scout Murray is that the comparisons that you can make is to Abby Townsend, and the one thing that the Bobcats are going to miss the most, besides the obvious of the goals and the assists, is just the fear that she would strike into defenders. When Abby Townsend picked up the ball, you could sense defenders back off because of how scared they were of her driving at them with pace. Scout Murray has that ability to take the ball at her feet and drive at defenders with pace, and that can cause so many problems for a defender. Backpedaling, you know, you're not on your toes, you can't make the right tackle. It causes so many issues, and Scout Murray can accentuate those issues with her pace.
Yeah, Coach Rogers had a lot of good things to say about Scout Murray. Quick, fast, can go in and behind as this ball is sent through very nicely. Margie Brown a bit too far, tried to get it to Brianna Moore. Margie Brown, a talented forward for this Duquesne team, number 7 in Navy, 14 starts last season, 4 goals.
Yeah, we were talking about it before the broadcast, that I believe you said 8 of their 9 goal scorers from last season are back, which is so important to have that continuity. Here's a nice move down the right side.
Devers sends it to Scout Murray, and she bounces that one wide left, but a good setup there from Ella Devers, the Bowling Green transfer. And it will be a goal kick. Ohio sending a message early on. This is a team, again, you lose and Abby Townsend, who had 10 assists, that led the MAC last season, and Reagan Berg, but there's so much fresh talent and returning talent for Coach Rogers. He expects this to be a pretty impressive season.
Yeah, and Devers is exactly that, you know, bringing in talent like that from Bowling Green, from another school in the MAC, and that's exactly what Rogers is trying to instill in his wingback play. You know, Devers making a really nice cut up the field and then driving forward, putting in a dangerous cross. Scout Murray just a little bit wide with the finish, but the first real sight of goal either team has had.
Margie Brown, great delivery in front to Maya Matisa, and Matisa can't get by Maya Solis, the Michigan State transfer. Solis very rock solid back there as a center back. She had the opportunity to arrive in Athens, Ethan, early. She got here in January and was able to compete with Ohio in the spring, so a huge advantage for a transfer to get that burn during the spring season prior to the fall.
Yeah, when we've pretty much every coach that we've talked to over the course of studying college soccer is how important the spring is for these coaches. You said it about Coach Rogers, that he wishes the spring would never end.
Yeah.
You know, having those, those games don't count on any records or anything like that, but they're so important to build up not just the chemistry between the players, both on and off the field, but also to build that stamina and character that he wants to instill in his teams now that the games are counting and they matter. This is, it's built in the spring, and now you see the results in the fall.
Yeah, it was a competitive spring. Ohio played a bunch of solid teams: Michigan State, Louisville, Xavier, Bowling Green, and Dayton. Strong challenge there. Isabella Ganaki fell down.
Ganaki and Carson Prigge have been in this midfield for years now. It's been pretty much almost four consecutive seasons since, of course, in 2021 when they had the soccer in the spring due to COVID. They've been starting in that midfield together for their entire college career. They were both freshmen then. They're both seniors now, and they've just continued to grow and build as players while building their own connection on the field.
Yeah, Prigge and Ganaki, they've combined for more than 80 starts here at Ohio as Jamison Brooker nearly gets loose, cleared away by Lindsey Krafchick.
Good pass there by Pruss over the middle, looking to try and split the center backs there from Duquesne.
Bobcats and the Dukes opening up the regular season. Both these two teams, Ohio got to play 2 exhibitions. Duquesne just one because of some weather that impacted the second exhibition, and Coach Al Alvine said that second exhibition is the most important. He's looking to learn a lot about his team here in the regular season opener.
Yeah, and it's a competitive conference that Duquesne is in, the Atlantic 10. A lot of really good schools in there. And, having that ability to build yourself up in these games is so important, as both of these teams are preparing for conference play at the end of the day.
Great hustle from Maya Matisa, sophomore forward. Mackenzie Muir blasts that one wide, and it'll be a goal kick. Mackenzie Muir, a talented returning piece for Al Alvine, the sophomore from Avon, Ohio, second on the team with 4 goals last year, but 3 of those 4 goals were game-winning goals as a freshman. And so she's got a bright future ahead here in 2023.
Freshman of the year in the Atlantic 10 last year. A high honor and something that Coach Al Alvine says is just part of what makes this team tick. Having such talented players like Muir in there to build your team up and continue to make those moves forward.
Scout Murray, great quick pass. Jamison Brooker, plenty of green grass in front. Brooker with a left-footed crank, deflected. Fearless from outside the 18. And Maddie Neundorfer gobbles it up. That was a decent setup there from Ohio. They had a lot of space to operate, Ethan, just outside the box. And to see Brooker take that with her left foot.
Yeah, that was Anna Campanella on the block there. Kent State transfer. She is somebody, Kent State and Boise State transfer. She is somebody who's really made an impact on this team already. When we spoke to Coach Al Alvine, he said that, when they came in and instantly started to build those connections as transfers, it's hard, right? When you come in and you don't really know anybody, and you might have a couple friends here and there, but, you got to make those friends real quick, and you got to understand the game. She's fit right in already in the starting lineup and has been an instant plug-and-play piece for Duquesne.
And she's got her sister here with her.
Yeah.
So that has made the transition a lot easier.
Allie, of course, who was actually here at OU for a while, she transferred as well. She was part of Coach Aaron Rodgers' squad and is now at Duquesne. So
Ella Devers heads that one ahead, trying to get it to Shea Robertson. It's knocked out of bounds for an Ohio throw-in. Opening minutes of this first half from Chesa Field here in Athens. Season opener for both teams. Bobcats picked in the MAC preseason poll 7th. They were projected to finish first last season. And Duquesne picked 7th as well in the A10 preseason poll as Mackenzie Muir sends it wide.
Yeah, Buffalo predicted to win the MAC, I believe, this year. They're really talented. They bring back a lot of the talent last year that got them as far as they did, and even into the NCAA tournament. So it's going to be competitive in the MAC this year. We're going to see a lot of really good games both here at Chesa Field and on the road across the Mid-American Conference.
Tostevin with a nice takeaway. Murray, a one-timer to try and get it to Robertson. Duquesne gets it right back. Nice little shimmy there from 7 in Navy, Margie Brown. Brown's been engaged early for the Dukes.
Yeah, Duquesne really trying to build out from the back. Sometimes you'll see teams just kind of boot it long and not really think about where the ball is going, but it's really clear to see that Duquesne's trying to build out from the back. Even there, as it gets a little too close to Brooker, she gets a foot in there. But they're really trying to make those moves start. And you know, we've mentioned how capable Nuendorfer is with the ball at her feet. Here you see fully confident trying to find a long ball now.
Maddie Nuendorfer has the ability to change a game, according to head coach Al Alvine. As we talked about earlier, she is a playmaker in goal, and Al Alvine went on to say maybe the hardest working kid I've ever coached at Duquesne and beyond, as Ganaki fights through that one. Isabella Ganaki returning after a season-ending injury in early October last season, and Coach Rogers told us about how impressed he's with her progress to get back on the field and be so game ready right away. Sent back to Quentin Tostevin. Saves it on the near side. And to the goalie, Celeste Sloma. First time we've really outlined Celeste in this game. The sophomore from Columbus, Ohio, out of Worthington Kilbourne High School. 2 years of lacrosse, 2 years of basketball, and 4 years of soccer.
Yeah, losing Sam Wexel is so huge for the Bobcats. She was such a crucial part of this team, was a captain and leader from her goalkeeper position, was MAC Goalkeeper of the Year back in 2021. As here's an potential opportunity, almost snuck onto by Matissa, but
Celeste very aggressive there.
Yeah, and there you see it. We've really noticed this as we've seen in practice, and that she can come off her line, and she is not afraid to make those sort of plays like we just saw there, where she could, you know, she's not rooted to the goal line. She could come out and make plays with her feet as well. We've talked a lot about how Nuendorfer can make plays with her feet. Sloma's also just as capable of making those plays with her feet and with her hands.
And I'm glad you brought that up, as Carson Prigge shoots just high of the bar. Good look there from Carson Prigge, the sophomore midfielder. It'll be a goal kick for Duquesne. To your point about Celeste, too, Coach Rogers told us that he feels like she's a lot more confident. That's her biggest area of growth, is the confidence and her ability to be a bit braver out there. Not necessarily take chances all the time, but take the chances when she feels like it's necessary.
Yeah, and that's so important, right, to have that confidence as a goalkeeper, because it's often such an overlooked position, right? A goalkeeper sometimes will, you know, they won't get the plaudits if they do well, but if they make a mistake, it's them who get the glaring spotlight on them. So it's huge to have that confidence in yourself as a goalkeeper, and you're really starting to see it from Celeste Lomas. This is her team now. This is her. It's her goalkeeper spot, and you know she's staking her claim and doing it well.
Ganaki, good through ball, tried to get it to Jamison Brooker. Brooker's been targeted quite a bit early in this first half, as Ganaki sends it wide to Ella Devers. Great one touch, and she sticks with it. Devers charging forward into the box, closing in. And it looks like we're going to get a foul on Duquesne.
Yeah, it was actually, that's very good refereeing, because he allowed the play to continue when Devers was making the run forward, and then once it was clear that there was no real advantage, he brings it back and allows there to be a free kick after the play's over. So good refereeing there.
So this will be our first set piece of the match. Ohio looking to get on the scoreboard for the first time in the 2023 regular season. Isabella Ganaki, the senior,
line it up to hit this one hard.
Yeah, 43rd career start for Ganaki. Duquesne builds that wall. Ganaki charges towards the ball and blasts it, bending towards the crossbar. Goal kick for Duquesne, but a valiant effort from Isabella Ganaki.
Yeah, powerful towards that left top corner. Just a little bit too high, but you can see what she was trying to do. It was a good idea. But the Bobcats in these last 5 minutes have ramped up the pressure a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like they've won the last 5 minutes or so when
it
comes to possession, when it comes to being able to keep Duquesne on their heels.
Yeah, and it all starts with that midfield three. We've seen all of Brooker, Prigge, and Janaki all have their moments so far in this game where they've just pressed the Duquesne midfield and not really allowed them to have the space or time in their own half to build out of the back like I was mentioning earlier.
Prigge surveys. That's blasted away. Nice job by Carly Steiner. Ohio tracks it down. Celeste Sloma sends it to Kennedy Reapel, junior defender. Reapel, Solis, and Tostovan, the three center backs for the Bobcats in this new 3-5-2 formation, as Scout Murray scurries her way into the box. Nice cross. It's deflected away. And Duquesne survives just momentarily.
Looking for Janaki there at the back post. Good late run. It's very important in soccer to be able to delay your run so that you meet the cross at the perfect time. Janaki did a good job of that, but it was good defending back there. It looked like it was number 29, Jaden Sharples, who was able to get onto that.
Jaden Sharpless, a talented freshman. We asked Coach Al Alvine about the freshman who has impressed you the most, and he highlighted Sharpless, who did not play last season at Georgia State. So this is her first year of real college soccer. Comes from a good club in Pittsburgh. Ganaki sends it forward. Cleared away. There is Sharpless, the freshman. Competitive. There's a little bit of a push from Scout Murray. Possession awarded to Duquesne. So Aaron Rodgers, we talked about him a lot already and some of the things he's liked and is excited about this season. He's in his 10th season with the Bobcats, Ethan, and Ohio has recently been knocking on the door. They're looking for that first ever MAC tournament title. And as we start this season, it's a program over the last 4 years with 3 of those seasons being 10 or more wins. This year, with him saying this could be the deepest team that he has had from top to bottom, you have to be feeling good about yourselves even before the season starts when your head coach says something like that.
Yeah, and Coach Rodgers has done a really good job of just building this program up from the level that the level that between now and when he first got here is such night and day. And I even spoke to Simon Dickey, who's the head coach of the Athens boys soccer team, and he even name dropped Aaron Rodgers when he talked about how much he's helped revitalize soccer in this whole area, not just the women's soccer team. So he's really doing a great job of building the community of soccer in Athens and in the Southeast Ohio area. So shout out to Coach Rodgers for that. And his team is also looking to build and, like you said, get that elusive MAC title.
Bobcats with possession. Robertson couldn't control it. Now Devers with a beautiful slot ahead down the right channel. Cleared away, though. Carly Steiner, the junior defender from Cincinnati, Ohio. It'll be an Ohio throw.
Steiner's been very busy back there. She's been getting everywhere, making clearances, making blocks. She's had a good performance so far from that center back position.
She's someone that's really had to step up. Duquesne lost 2 of their top defenders from a season ago, Ashley Rodriguez and Kayla Winicki, as Margie Brown scurries ahead into the attacking third. Brown closes in on 2 defenders, and Prigge trying to dominate her area. And a bit of an arm bar there from Margie Brown. Possession to Ohio, and a quick restart.
Yeah, really good defending there from Carson Prigge, just using her body to not allow Brown to kind of just nick the ball past her, even to the striker or anything like that. And now she's laid out on the field.
Doesn't look like we'll see a card, but the referee definitely making it known that you got to be careful
what
there.
Happened there? He kind of like did the motion that he was given a card, but he didn't have a card.
We didn't see the card.
I don't really know.
You know, it is the first game of the regular season. Sometimes we forget things. Maybe he forgot the yellow card, but no, I don't think he did.
Maybe he was just saying one more.
Just
a lot of times. Well, now he's stopping the clock, but a lot of times you'll see that where if a player commits a few fouls in a short amount of time, the ref will be like, "All right, you've had 3, one more, and you're getting a yellow card for foul accumulation." So maybe that's what he was saying. I'm not 100% sure what was going on there, but we play on.
He was talking to Cammie Taylor, and probably just a warning as Ganaki, nice footwork, able to maneuver away from 29 in Navy, Jaden Sharpless, the freshman. Robertson with a touch, trying to settle down with it. Carly Steiner continues to be involved defensively for Duquesne, and a strong challenge from Robertson. Possession back to the Dukes.
Yeah, once again, really good work by Steiner. This time on the other side, I just mentioned Carson Prigge using her body. That was a really good use of Steiner, using her body to just shield Robertson, who had a really good first touch to get it away from the first defender, but just shielding her away from the ball, and then Robertson has to foul to get there, and it's Duke's possession.
Murray, one touch back towards midfield, and a strong challenge. We play on. Now they're going to call it.
Yeah, the referee's really keen to let those advantages happen. You saw as soon as he saw that play that, he goes over. He was going to call the foul, but he waited again an extra 2 or 3 seconds to see if Scout Murray could make anything of that. It may be, but it wasn't really going anywhere, so he decides to give the Bobcats, which now this is a really dangerous free kick in a promising area. Janaki standing over it. It looks like Pruss is over there. But this is the first free kick was in a more of a shooting position. This is a little bit more of a crossing spot where you could put this ball to one of the taller players in the box, like a Carson Prigge, potentially, or a Shea Robertson, who's a really good header of the ball.
Isabella Ganaki and Ram Pruss near the ball, like you outlined. As Ohio looking to strike first here in the opener. Pruss gives way. Ganaki sends one towards the cage. Again, just over the crossbar. She's had 2 brilliant efforts here in this first half.
That's the closest anyone's come, as we're going to have a bevy of substitutions here. But Janaki, that was a bit closer, really about an inch away from the crossbar there. And let's try and make sense of all these changes, because there's a lot for both teams.
Jamison Brooker, Scout Murray, Shea Robertson, and Isabella Ganaki all coming off. So 4 players out for Ohio.
And we talked about depth.
Yeah, this is an example of it.
Right
yeah.
Here you see 4 substitutions, and being able to bring on someone like Haley Miller is such an asset to this team. Haley Miller has been so important through the years for Ohio. 7 goals and assists last year. A very important player, attacking midfield player who will look to create her moments, and she'll probably have a moment or 2 in this game. She's going to be key down the stretch.
And so the 2 forwards now for Aaron Rodgers out there on the pitch. Izzy Boyd, 25 in white, and 28, Juliana Farina.
Yeah, Boyd has really worked hard to get into this position. She didn't play a lot last year, and now she's in these first couple scrimmages and today really working to get that extra playing time, and she's earned it here. She's going to get at least 20 minutes here in this first half. So an interesting, having so much depth on your bench is so important. Being able to bring on players like Boyd and Farina off the bench with fresh legs to go against potentially more tired defenders is big time, and you need that if you're going to win a championship.
Strong challenge from Prigge as that one's sent out for an Ohio throw. Great job by Carson Prigge. The other player that is on the pitch for the first time for Ohio, Aubrey Ray, a senior.
And
there was her first touch.
Matissa just looked a little frustrated there, trying to kind of asking her teammates where's the help, as she kind of dribbled around a little bit, didn't really have any options, trying to find anything, as she was tailed by Carson Prigge there the whole time and ended up losing possession.
Libby Majka checks in for Duquesne. There's her first touch as she finds Kravchik, and Kravchik maintains possession.
2 really nice moves there to get around Miller and Aubrey Ray. Some nice footwork to keep the ball from them.
Duquesne slows it down, and now Steiner sends it ahead. Ooh, big collision between Ella Devers and Lindsay Kravchik. Ohio will reset here.
Kravchik, couple big collisions in her first couple of minutes.
Yeah.
You have to like that if you're Al Alvine. You got to like that you come out with a little fire, maybe a little too much fire in that challenge. Just a little bit too hard there for the referee's liking, so he gives a foul to the Bobcats. But, you want to see that fire from your younger players. You want to see that that energy, especially coming off the bench. You need that energy coming into the game.
Margie Brown tries to get free. Now Quentin Tostovan surveys, lifts it to the far side. Bobcats have been sending messages early with a couple of opportunities. Isabella Ganaki's had 2 shots on cage.
Now they'll have their first corner right here, which is another really good opportunity to get those taller players forward. Quentin Tostovan stands out, one of the taller players on the field. Carson Prigge as well. You know, to try and get a head or a foot and direct it towards the goal. So far, no shots on goal, or actually, no shots on goal for either team so far. So trying to test the keeper a little bit here with a potential opportunity off the corner kick.
Haley Miller will take the corner for Ohio in the far corner. Low liner trying to get it to Carson Prigge as she maneuvers up towards the front post. And this will just be an Ohio throw.
Yeah, you never like to see that ball bounce if you're Duquesne. You want to get rid of that ball before it takes a bounce because it could go anywhere.
This one sent off the crossbar. One touch and a finish. Izzy Boyd. Ohio strikes first. 1-0 advantage.
Well, Duquesne's not happy. There's a lot of Neuendorfer still complaining. I'm not sure handball or offside, but she's complaining. It was a great initial effort to get the ball on. It hits the crossbar, and then Boyd, you know, we talk so much about positioning as a striker. That doesn't happen if Izzy Boyd isn't in the right place at the right time. And while it might have been a simple finish, being there is what's important. She's in the right spot. She puts it away, and the Bobcats take a 1-0 lead.
The depth paying off for Coach Rogers' team. He started Scout Murray and Shea Robertson at forward and made a substitution, brought on Izzy Boyd and Juliana Farina, and it's Izzy Boyd who scores. She did not score a goal last season and only played in 5 matches. That is her second career goal for the senior forward from Gibsonia, Pennsylvania, and the Bobcats with a 1-0 advantage.
Yeah, you could see the complaints over on the far side. A conversation, not sure if that's Coach Alvine or if it's one of the members of the assistant staff, but they're having a conversation over there, seemingly about the circumstances that led to that goal. Not sure if there was maybe a hint of offside about where Izzy Boyd was in the lead up to the goal. It's when the shot happened, not when it hits off the crossbar. Obviously, the call has been made. There's no VAR just yet in college soccer, so this is it is set, and the Bobcats have a 1-0 lead.
All right, so we resume action as Ohio has been able to sub on a plethora of players already. Eve Barish now into the match for the first time, number 3 in white. Ella Bianco, a 5th-year defender, and talented freshman Ellie Greenwell, who just sent it towards midfield for Juliana Farina. We'll talk a lot about Ellie Greenwell as the Dukes looking to respond. Great deflection from Haley Miller as she gets in front of Matissa.
Big time right
yes,
there. Big
that
time
is
from Haley
huge.
Miller. Just getting a foot, just being able to get a foot in there. That's all you need, right? Because of how, right, it was shaping up to be a pretty powerful shot based on the deflection and where the ball went. And Miller just stuck her right foot out, managed to get a crucial foot in there. But you mentioned Greenwell, who is a name that we're gonna talk about a lot up here on the press box as we go through the season. For a freshman, Coach Aaron Rodgers spotlighted her when we spoke to him this week about her getting meaningful minutes so early in her Bobcat career. There's a lot of freshmen that have been getting meaningful minutes. We've already seen, throughout today, Brooker's played a lot. We're going to see more freshmen over the course of today and the season. So, like we talked about for most of this game, it's a young team with a lot of experience, and it's a good blend of those two elements, and that's what makes this team, like you said, top to bottom, the most talented that Coach Rodgers says he's ever had.
Yep, no doubt. 8 freshmen on this roster for Ohio, 2 transfers. But yeah, Ellie Greenwell, freshman from Park Hills, Kentucky. She had the assist in the exhibition against Dayton this past weekend. This is slotted through a bit too far out of reach for number 14, Brooke Kierstein. Sloma rolls it to Ella Bianco. A 1-0 lead for Ohio thanks to Izzy Boyd, her second career goal. And it kicks off the 2023 season in style. Bianco patiently pedals ahead. Nice deflection from Mackenzie Muir, sophomore midfielder. It'll be an Ohio throw.
Yeah, Bianco's played such a key role over the past few seasons for the Bobcats. Played in 18 games last year, started 16 of them. Had an assist last year and played over 1,300 minutes in that Bobcat defense. So to be able to bring somebody like that off the bench, once again, just speaks to the quality of the depth that Coach Rogers has in his team.
Ali Campanella, Ohio transfer. Tries to roll it ahead to Matissa. It's taken away by the Bobcats. Duquesne throw. So Duquesne, a team out of the A-10. They're coached by, we've talked about him a lot already, Al Alvine in his 12th season. Spent the previous 5 seasons at California University of Pennsylvania. That's a Division II school. And he inherited a team that had only won 3 matches before 2012. And he's put together some solid seasons in his decade-plus of work with the Dukes, including an A-10 tournament championship in 2015. As Farina can't quite get there, Neundorfer gobbles it up. 2015, a magical year for the Dukes. As a 7 seed, they won it all to get to the NCAA tournament. Offside flag is up. So Ohio possession.
Going to be interesting to see what adjustments Duquesne make in the second half, as we got just about 12 minutes left in this first half. I wouldn't necessarily say that they've been bad, but it really, especially since those opening 15 minutes, you can tell that Ohio's been on the front foot. They've been causing many more troubles on their attacking half than Duquesne's been for Ohio. So it'll be interesting to see if Alvine makes any adjustments in the offensive half. I can't really fault the defending. It's been pretty solid outside of, one real slight mistake. Can't really even fault that. Just a weird deflection off the crossbar for Boyd. But on the offensive side, you got to create more chances. They haven't really tested Celeste Sloma at all yet. No shots on goal, no corners yet. So you got to get more opportunities in the attacking third.
Yeah, and no real shots that have gone above the crossbar like Isabella Ganaki has had.
Only 1 shot total.
Yep.
So yeah, you have to be able to cause more. Bobcats have 7 shots, 2 on target, and Duquesne with just the 1 shot, and it was that slice shot earlier by, I believe it was Muir, who hit one well wide. Not a worry for Sloma. So you got to create more chances. You got to take more shots in the end of this first half and in the second half.
Definitely worth mentioning, too, Ethan, as we've talked about prior to this match leading up to it, we spoke to Coach Alvine, and he told us a couple of key players are not available. One is definitely not available, and the other is unlikely to see playing time today, and that is Jamie Arajo, the graduate student forward who led the team last season with 5 goals. She is very doubtful for her to appear in this match. Took a knock in the preseason, and then a talented freshman, Haley Longwell, tore her ACL earlier in the year. She's not available, as that's a great cross by Ellie Greenwell. It deflects to Neundorfer, had it for a moment and lost it. That was a scary sight for Duquesne momentarily.
Yeah, I think that it was a little bit. I don't think Boyd was trying to get there. It was a little bit more of an accidental collision, but still, can't really get in the way of the goalie when she's making a dive like that. So
strong collision. Maya Solis and Maya Matissa.
There's the real yellow card.
There, we do in fact can confirm that the officials have the actual yellow in their pockets, and Maya Matissa given the yellow, number 34 in Navy.
Yeah, that's reeked of frustration. That little shove there at the end. She's kind of been isolated up front all game. Hasn't really had many opportunities to get on the ball. Bobcats have defended really well. Solis in particular, just not really allowing Matissa to get into space and make plays. And sometimes just that frustration builds up over a half and, you shove out something like that. And I think that was more about the accumulation. That's her third or fourth foul. And, that's a yellow card to say, all right, slow down, a few more of these and you're off.
Bobcats leading it 1-0 here at Chesapeake in Athens, Ohio. Again, glad you're with us for all the action. Sam Hyman, Ethan Sargent. Duquesne wanted a handball on Izzy Boyd. And a yellow card has been issued to Boyd.
I think that's also accumulation. I think that the referee pointed to the penalty box, referring to that collision that she just had with Neuendorfer. And then this handball, which was accidental.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a handball. Boyd's complaining, but what's done is done. And now a yellow card apiece for both teams in a very short amount of time.
Sent across the field. Lindsay Kravchik traps it down and maneuvers forward, stops on a dime and sends it in the back tent for Anna Campanella. Nice ball out wide. Bobcats stepping in front of it. That's Eve Barish, sophomore midfielder. And now Juliana Farina makes a run. Farina 1v1. Maneuvers right, cuts back left with a foot and just punched away. Maddie Neuendorfer, heck of a save. But the build-up there was beautiful from Juliana Farina.
Yeah, what a great sequence. Boyd with a beautiful ball over the top. Farina using her pace, cutting back, sitting the defender down, and then Neuendorfer equal to what was a solid effort at goal. Neuendorfer keeping this one a contest 2-0, and the Bobcats might be thinking about putting this game away. But it remains now. But the Bobcats clearly on the front foot here. Got to try and take advantage of the momentum that they've had over the last 10 minutes.
Looking for the exclamation point before intermission as Neuendorfer punches that away. And Aubrey Ray blasts that one towards the Hocking River. Not quite into the river. That's a good ways away.
It would take quite a kick to get into the river. It's about let's say about 150 yards from the goal to the river. But
have you measured?
I wish. that might be a new.
I was going to say you sounded pretty confident there.
I ballparked. I ballparked. So might be a project for somebody on OU's campus to undertake. With plenty of smart people here. Somebody can get that.
We'll get the measuring tape out as Neuendorfer sends that one into orbit, headed out. Bobcats leading it 1-0. Pretty dominant first half. 9 shots total for Ohio, just 1 for Duquesne.
And there's that pressure high up the field again. The Bobcats have won the ball a number of times in their own attacking third, and that allows them to create dangerous transition opportunities.
Ellie Greenwell nearly had that one, now chases after it. And need out of bounds. The frustration building a little bit for Duquesne. Number 14 in Navy, Brooke Kirstein, excuse me. Frustrated. Ellie Greenwell with the throw in here. The freshman who Coach Rogers says brings a ton of energy, excellent engine. If you saw her, Ohio does a fitness test before they start practicing in preseason, and Ellie Greenwell absolutely dominated that fitness test. Her conditioning is top-notch.
Yeah, so I actually have the privilege of being a brother of a Division I athlete. He is a
so you know all about the fitness test.
Yes, that's exactly where I was going. So he is playing soccer at St. John's this year, and his fitness test was he had to run 2.5 miles in 14:30. So that's an impressive feat for anybody, and for a Division I athlete, it's something that these coaches are expecting of them when they show up in the building for summer training. So these athletes have to keep up in tip-top shape, and in soccer, you're running so much and you're making so many runs on the field that you need to have that stamina to be able to make that run in the first minute and in the 90th minute. So
absolutely.
Having that stamina is so important.
Farina charges ahead, tries to track that one down, just caught by Campanella. And a whack back towards midfield. Aubrey Ray heads it ahead to Izzy Boyd, the lone goal scorer today for the Bobcats, her second career goal, as that one's knocked out for Duquesne throw. Bobcats will play once again at home in their next match. That'll be next week against Cleveland State.
That's a good opponent. The Bobcats play against them, I believe, almost every year at this point. And it's a good battle. You know, it's a good team to test yourself against early in the season, you know, similar to Duquesne where it's a non-conference game and, you know, you're looking to build up. You're looking to build your team up as you continue to progress towards MAC play. You continue to build.
Izzy Boyd with a hard crank up towards the bar. Closing minutes here of this first half. Controlled well by Ohio, 9 shots to Duquesne's 1. And the Bobcats have cycled in a ton of players in this first half. Farina, nifty footwork with the ball. One sidestep and a blast right to Neundorfer.
Yeah, Farina's been a live wire ever since she came
Very
into
much
the game.
so.
She has been causing problems, and once again, Duquesne create their own problems there. They can't play out of the back. They give the ball away to the Bobcats in a dangerous area, and Farina nearly capitalized with another good shot on target. That's the Bobcats' 4th shot on goal. 2 of them have come from Farina.
Let's see if Duquesne can find something in the final minutes. They just haven't been able to put anything together yet. Maybe here's an opportunity. Sliding through, just a bit offsides. That was number 16, Emily Eustace. Right idea, though, for Eustace.
The sophomore from New Jersey looking to make an impact. It was a good run off the left side, just a hair too early. The ball maybe could have been played a half-second earlier, too, it can be said. But that's better from Duquesne. They need more of that, and they're trying to do it again here.
This time across, that goes on the top shelf there. Decent work there. Goal kick for Ohio.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the first home Bobcat event of the fall, correct?
Regular season.
In the regular season,
yes.
Yeah. So the fall season is underway.
The party's just getting started.
The party is just getting started in Athens. It's going to be a fun fall in Athens for a number of all fall sports are going to have a lot of fun this fall. I'm excited. It's going to be really fun to watch.
It definitely is.
You can't go 2 seconds without talking about that team over on Peden Stadium, but
these
girls right here are going to have a season as well. They're going to be really fun to watch over the course of the year. I really am excited for their prospects.
Corner kick for Duquesne. Their first corner of the match. Emily Eustace sends it towards the middle of the box. Eve Barish settles with it. Trying to turn the corner. Bobcats looking for the final say in this first half. Awarded possession. Strong effort. I tell you what, you said it's been impressive.
Farina,
Juliana Farina.
That was really good, both the speed and the body work there. She was able to shield her body between the ball, and that's why she got the foul in between there. Then, she was, unfortunately there, she was taken off the ball. But she does a good job of using her body, but also using her pace effectively. A lot of people that are fast like that, they'll just kick the ball and they'll run, and they'll only rely on their pace. But Farina has the footwork and the foot skills to back up that pace and has been using it really effectively here in these few minutes that she's been on the field.
Ella Bianco headed away. Duquesne ball. Less than a minute to play here in this first half from Chesa Field in Athens. Miller slide tackle. Lindsay Kraftchick Slots it ahead for Eustace. And Bianco all over that. It will be a Duquesne corner, though.
Yeah, probably the last opportunity here in the first half for Duquesne to get back into it. Their biggest positive right now is that it remains 1-0. One opportunity, they could be right back on level terms.
Sloma runs after it. Izzy Boyd with the only goal so far. But Ohio has had a plethora of opportunities to go up 2-0. It's been an impressive first half, 11 shots to 1 in favor of Ohio as Farina chases that one down. Kravchik sends that one out. And that's the end of the first half. So the Bobcats take a 1-0 advantage into halftime in the regular season opener from Chesa Field. Halftime comes your way next. You're watching all the action live on YouTube. Back at Chesa Field alongside Ethan Sargent, I'm Sam Hyman. Glad you're with us here at halftime. Ohio leads Duquesne 1-0. The Bobcats outshot the Dukes 11-1. Ethan, what was your biggest takeaway from that first half?
I mean, I really like the way that Ohio set themselves up. They did a really good job of building out from the back, causing pressure to not allow Duquesne build out from the back. They had a lot of high area interceptions that allowed them to win the ball high up the field and put the ball in dangerous areas. And then their goal, Izzy Boyd, right place, right time, off the deflection, off the crossbar, able to find it, bang it into the roof of the net. And the Bobcats have a lead to defend here in the second half. So now it's on Al Alvine and the Duquesne Dukes. How do they adjust? How do they fix what went wrong there in that first half and build on that in the second half? How can they right the ship? It'll be interesting to see what adjustments they make beyond what they already did.
What adjustment do you think could be made for Duquesne?
I think that they have to move the ball up the field quicker. They can't play out of the back like they have been because Ohio's been sniffing it out every time. They haven't been allowed to, maybe as they typically do, they haven't been allowed to have that interplay at the back. So maybe start looking for the long ball. They had a little bit of success with finding Matissa higher up the field and causing some problems there for the Bobcats. So maybe look for that a little bit more often and try and work that longer pass. You know, we talked about Nurendorfer and how capable she is with the long ball, 40 yards on a frozen rope. Let's see that here in the second half. Let's see if they can spear the ball out into the wider areas and then move it more inwards so that, you know, you could create those opportunities. Because like you said, 11 shots to 1, not what Coach Alvine was probably looking for. So trying to make those shots happen, more opportunities. Don't even have a shot on target. You have to test Celeste Saloma.
More halftime when we come back. Ohio leads Duquesne 1-0 here at Chesapeake in the regular season opener for both teams, live on YouTube. Back at Chesapeake alongside Ethan Sargent, I'm Sam Hyman. Thanks for being with us. A 1-0 advantage for the Bobcats. Thanks to Izzy Boyd. She's got the lone goal, her second career goal. We'll start with Ohio in this discussion here, Ethan. They are dominating 11 shots to just 1 for Duquesne. And the big theme so far early in the season is the talk of the depth. And we saw in that first half a lot of different players got an opportunity. First, it was Shea Robertson and Scout Murray as the 2 forwards, 2 strikers. And then Coach Rogers put on a much more of many more players, including Izzy Boyd, who was able to score that goal. So that's the theme, and we've seen it in the first half. What do you make of the depth in that first half?
You know, that quote that we've been using, that Coach Rogers said that this is the most talented team he's had from top to bottom, and that the last part is what I want to highlight here, because I'm sure over the years Rogers would probably give you a lineup of, you know, other teams that might be more talented at the face.
Right.
But what he's saying is that he has 17, 18, 19, 20 different girls that he feels confident in bringing into this game. And that's something that so many teams can't say they can do.
This
Um,
early in the season,
and
too.
this early in the season as well, where it's not even like they're injuries and they've had to bring people in, or they're just making changes. He feels so confident in so much of his team that he's able to bring in more of that. And we honestly saw that a little bit on the other side too, where we saw a lot of changes from Duquesne as well. Bringing in a lot of players, and that might be the spark that they need to get back into this game.
For the flip side, Duquesne Dukes, what is or who is a player that has impressed you the most on the Duke side?
I would probably have to go with Carly Steiner, number 4, in the back. She's done a really good job of limiting the opportunities that Ohio have had, because they have had a lot of opportunities getting forward, but they've only had the 4 shots on target, which when you think about how much pressure they were putting on the goal, they could probably have about 10, 15 shots on target if, everything was falling apart. So Steiner keeping them together at the back, doing a good job of keeping the game in front of her and keeping the players and the ball in front of her so that she can react to the Bobcats in their attacking flow.
And remember, this is a Duquesne team without Haley Longwell, the freshman, Jamie Arajo, likely not to see the field today. All right, we'll take one final break and come back for the start of the second half. A 1-0 advantage for Ohio at home. Both teams playing their first matches of the regular season. All right, the start of the second half. Back with Ethan Sargent, Sam Hyman with you. Ohio leads it 1-0 in the regular season opener from Chesapeake. As Maya Matisa gets us started, Duquesne possesses in the second 45. As the Dukes looking to get a lot more production on the offensive end. They only had one shot total. 2 yellow cards in that first half, too, by the way. Maya Matisa and Izzy Boyd, one for Duquesne, one for Ohio. Early on, you touched on a little bit at halftime, but what are some things that you want to see from Duquesne to start this second half and maybe, change the viewer's mind that they can get back into this game?
Yeah, I want to see them be more direct. I want to see them attack more, use the long ball a little bit more, try and find those channels like they are right here, and try and make the plays. And see, even there, that's a perfect example of making it happen. There, just making Celeste Sloma work a little bit more. Right there, Celeste Sloma forced into her first save of the game, and that's a shot on target in the first minute of the second half after not having won the entire first half. So a little bit more impetus and creativity is what Duquesne need, and that's a great start to have that early opportunity right there.
Yeah, really good job by Maya Matisa. 6 starts last season as a freshman. She scored a goal against Ohio when these two teams opened up the season at Duquesne last year. Shea Robertson back out there on the park along with Scout Murray, who's calling for it. Murray was wide open towards the center. It'll be an Ohio throw-in. Shea Robertson, Scout Murray started this match as part of the starting 11.
Yeah, and Steiner, who I highlighted at halftime, was once again there to make the block. And it was a key one because, like you said, Murray was sprinting through about 18 yards from goal, and she was all alone. Not a Duquesne player within 5 yards of her. So a big block there once again from Steiner.
Shea Robertson tries to navigate down that right side. It'll be an Ohio throw-in. Ganaki touches it. Quentin Tostovan. Good ball, entries into the box. A fight for it and blast it away.
Yeah, good defending at the back post from Santiago. Again, a common theme throughout this game of players using their body well. Santiago there was just shielding it away from Devers on the back stick there. If Devers could have just poked a toe in there, it could have been real dangerous at the back post. But good defending from Santiago, and now Ohio has a throw-in deep in Duke's territory.
Murray tries to chase it down. Mackenzie Muir lifts it ahead. Matisa able to chest trap it and settle as she accelerates down the right side. Interesting touch there from Matisa, where nobody was. She was pointing towards Brianna Moore, hoping that Moore would cut there. Nobody was there at all.
Yeah, the communication wasn't quite there on that play. But another good run from Matisa. She's clearly taking the reins here, trying to drag Duquesne back into this game. But that forward movement is just leaving a little bit of space open at the back, and we've already seen Ohio a couple times in the second half exploit that space. It's going to be interesting to see here in the second half. I feel like the next goal of this game is so important. Whoever gets
from
the next
either
goal,
side, yeah.
Exactly. Whoever gets this next goal is probably going to go on to win the game. If Duquesne gets it, they could flip the momentum all their way, and if Ohio gets it, they could probably just continue to ride that train that they have.
Jamison Brooker sends it ahead. Scout Murray, one touch, a blast, deflected. Neundorfer, a punch save from Maddie Neundorfer, keeping this a 1-0 affair.
What a save that is from Neundorfer to keep the score level. It was a good effort from Scout Murray. She took a touch, she steadied herself, and it was the right finish, going for power towards the left, but unbelievable reflexes from Neundorfer. Second time she's had to make a big save like that. She had that one on Farina in the first half, and she's keeping Duquesne in this game as of right now.
3 saves from Maddie Neundorfer. Coach Alvine called her a playmaker, with the ability to generate offense. She's done defensively what that playmaker term has
she's made a couple huge plays.
Meant.
Absolutely.
Margie Brown clears it momentarily. Here's Jamison Brooker, freshman who started this match Good one touch from Scout Murray. She tries to turn the corner. Collision with number 19 in Navy, Anna Campanella. And it looks like a foul inside the box as Murray went down.
That is
Scout
be a
Murray
penalty.
creating issues.
Yeah, and Murray just once again, first touch let her down just a little bit, but she was able to use that pace to get her body in between Campanella and the ball. Campanella just a little bit too strong there in the tackle.
And
now,
now,
in the box,
yep,
it's a penalty kick.
Penalty kick for Isabella Ganaki, senior from Powell, Ohio, making her 43rd career start. Ganaki versus Noondorfer.
Yeah, let's see what the mind games are here, because penalty kicks, even more so than soccer ability, it's so much more about mind games. It's where you're going to put the ball, because sometimes it's an easy shot, and sometimes, you know, the keeper can get in the player's mind. We'll see what Janaki and Noondorfer here.
Ganaki shoots, and off the post, deflected, and a goal! Ella Devers. And the Bobcats lead 2-0.
Well, that's probably not the way Coach Rogers drew that one up. But a goal is a goal, and that's why it is so important to be on your toes after a penalty kick. It was very unlucky from Janaki. Well-placed penalty, just catches the wrong side of the post there, deflects right to Devers, who takes a touch, steadies herself, and smashes it right in. It was the save attempt kind of left Noondorfer none the wiser. She couldn't really do anything about that goal, but a very, very strong opportunity from Devers, and now the Bobcats up 2-0, a strong, commanding position.
Ella Devers on that right side, very engaged all match long. A Bowling Green transfer. She brings a lot to the table for this Ohio team. Briggy lost it. Cammie Taylor sends it out wide for Margie Brown. Brown, one touch, and the cross into the box. Looking for Taylor. Nearly got a piece of it. Ran Pruss. Couldn't track it down. It'll be a Duquesne throw. Good quick counter opportunity for the Dukes.
Yeah, your whole mentality changes now. If you're Duquesne, you have to get a goal fast.
You have
this
to,
game is going to get away from you.
Absolutely. Got to turn the volume up if you're Duquesne. Goal kick for Ohio.
Yeah, the task just got that much harder. We were literally talking about it in the attack before that penalty kick about, the next goal in this game is going to be set up. Right now, Ohio is fully in the ascendancy. They are in full control, and it's on Duquesne now. They have to make the adjustments in game now. There's no halftime break to make these adjustments. They got to make the adjustments on the field, and they got to get a goal here in these next 10, 15 minutes, or they're going to be leaving Athens with a loss.
Ohio looking for more. Shea Robertson, one touch for Pruss. Pruss patiently surveys, sidesteps. Ganaki spins and sends it to Ella Devers. Devers just had the goal to make it 2-0. Dribbles into the box. Good footwork to get separation. Pruss, one touch. Sends it just high. Rand Pruss, sophomore out of Perrysburg High School, nearly gave Ohio a 3-0 advantage.
Sweeping move from the Bobcats, going from left side to the right side, back to the left. Pruss had plenty of time there, and it was a little bit unlucky on the finish, just couldn't quite keep it down. And once again, they win it high up the field. It's been a theme all day.
Rand Pruss crosses just far from Scout Murray. Murray nearly tracks it down, and it's out for a Duquesne throw-in. Bobcats really feeling thirsty for more. This is quite impressive. They are not taking their foot off the gas.
You can't, right?
No.
When I used to play soccer back in the day, all my coaches told me that a 2-0 lead is the most dangerous lead in soccer, because if Ohio gives up the next goal and it becomes 2-1, you just give Duquesne that little bit of hope again, right? You give them that impetus to say, okay, all we need is one more. Now we can press on and get that next one. So again, it becomes about the next goal. If Ohio can get it to 3-0, it's going to be a real tough road for Duquesne to come back, even with the clock still ticking, and it's in Ohio's favor right now. But if Duquesne get the next goal, we have a ball game on our hands.
Robertson. Murray. Ganaki trying to get some separation. And a good ball out to Pruss. Floats it into the box. Boy, just some dangerous movement that has Duquesne on its heels right now.
Yeah, Campanella with an important defensive header there to get that away from Scout Murray. But again, like you said, it's just been in the second half, they've almost put their foot on the jugular, have the Bobcats. They've really gone for it here. Sloma in trouble.
Yeah, Sloma falling down and able to secure it. That was a very troublesome spot as Maya Matisa was on the verge of making this a 2-1 game.
Oh, boy. A lot of Bobcat hearts were in mouths right there. Sloma maybe got a little too cute with the ball at her feet. Matisa almost made her pay, but in the end, she made up for it with some good reflexes. Once Matisa touched that ball, she can use her hands again, and that's what she did, grabbed it and stopped the opportunity.
Margie Brown making moves into the box, deflected by Maya Solis, the Michigan State transfer. Solis tracks it down, ahead to Ella Devers. Devers, a strike up the right channel. Murray accelerates to try and get after it. Cammie Taylor distributes that one out wide a bit too far, trying to locate Brianna Moore. Ohio goal kick.
And so far, what Ohio's done with the 3-5-2 formation has worked, I think, to what Aaron Rodgers would like. You see that the pivot where Carson Prigg basically works as the perfect six, as a center defensive midfielder, where she's right in between the two midfielders up front in Janaki and Brooker, but then right in between the back line as well of, Tostavin, Solis, and Reipel back there.
Muir,
she's just able to connect everything.
Mackenzie Muir, strong challenge on Isabella Ganaki.
Not happy about it as well. Just I'm not sure who was being told to calm down there, but just a couple of words of ease up from the Duquesne players to each other, and now back to the action we go.
Robertson, great job to trap that one down and dribble ahead. Ganaki, beautiful ball. Down the right channel for Ella Devers, keeps it in play. Devers cuts back, rides that line, deflects out, and it's an Ohio corner kick. That was beautifully drawn up.
You can see the applause from the sideline, from the coaching staff, and from the players, because that's the soccer that Ohio's going to need to play this year if they want to succeed. Really good vision from Janaki to see the run of Devers. The defender bit a little too far, so he lifted the ball over the top, and then Devers again with the cutback. We've seen it a couple times from her. That cutback has worked really well, and the cross was blocked in the end by Duquesne, but still an impressive move. Once again, the Bobcats have played some smash-mouth football here in the last 5-10 minutes. We'll see if they can make that pressure pay off with another goal. Might be the death knell for Duquesne if it goes to 3-0.
Priggy deflects right back to Carson Priggy. And this one drifts out of play on the far side for an Ohio throw.
Things got a little hectic there. There was a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling, get the ball out. In the end, Duquesne was able to clear it. Priggy had the original header, and then she got the ball back again. Couldn't quite work a shot out past it back, and then the Dukes cleared their lines. But now, once again, Ohio just no let up here with the pressure.
Looking for more. Ella Devers, Scout Murray creates space. Murray shoots! Whew! That could have been 3-zip Ohio, and Scout Murray once again making her presence felt up top for Aaron Rodgers' team.
Yeah, you got to make a change right now if you're Duquesne. They're going to make one substitution. You got to change something here because they are getting ran off the park right now by Ohio. It's been a dominant second half, even more so than the first half. They've hardly let Duquesne out of their own half. So you're going to have to make some adjustments in the half now if you're Duquesne. It needs to happen soon, or as I mentioned earlier, they're going to be leaving Athens with the loss. Already down 2-0. It could be more.
Matisa sends it ahead. Mackenzie Leader the new player out there for Duquesne, number 15 in Navy, as the Dukes make another substitution. And it is number 30, Eva Lavecchia, sophomore. First time really in a while Duquesne has had some type of pressure on the offensive side, but nothing to show for it. Ohio with a throw. Ran Pruss to throw.
Eva Lavecchia grew up on Long Island, went to St. Anthony's High School and out in Suffolk County. Many a track meet there back in the day.
You ran a track meet there?
I did.
Nice.
Yeah, they it's a really good program, St. Anthony's. They manufacture Division I athletes in every sport. Tons of football players, basketball, baseball. They send guys all over the country. So, you know, it just shows that at Duquesne, you know, they follow that. So
Jamison Brooker accelerates into the box. Brooker cross finds Scout Murray, shoots and scores! 3-0 Ohio, a statement to start the season.
wow.
You could not have drawn it up any better than the way the 2023 season has started right now.
Yeah, this is impressive from the Bobcats, and once again, it's a sweeping move. And it all starts. Scout Murray deserves to have a goal. Now she does. She won the penalty to get the Bobcats that opportunity. They didn't end up scoring the penalty, but off the rebound. And now here she just takes her chance, takes a calming touch there just to dead the ball and just consider her options, and then fires it in from about 6 yards out. No chance for Neuendorfer. And now the Bobcats are looking comfortable and on their way to an opening day victory.
Jamison Brooker, the freshman, credited with the assist as Priggy steps in front, shuts that down.
Yeah, how about Brooker in her debut as a Bobcat,
Yes.
as a freshman? She's played almost every minute. She's been very involved in every action. She's really staking her claim in this team early on.
Freshman from Powell, Ohio. Glad you highlighted her a little bit. Brooker has really done a phenomenal job in training in the preseason. She is from the Columbus area out of Olentangy Liberty. And Coach Rogers said that Jamison's probably the most decorated player in this incoming class, when you think about production and what she's been able to do playing for a really talented high school, and a high school All-American at that for Jamison Brooker. Very versatile player that Coach Rogers has added to his roster.
Yeah, it's so difficult to come straight in as a freshman and be able to take that step up, because it's totally different from playing at the high school level to the college level. It's a complete new step, and sometimes for some freshmen it's too much. But she has not looked out of place at all, Brooker, today. She has looked, in fact, increasingly confident as the game has gone on. She's been more and more involved. And, you know, here again, just making pressure, causing problems for Duquesne as they try to build up their play. So it's been an impressive performance for a freshman that I think is going to have a lot on her shoulders this season. And I think she's going to get a lot of meaningful minutes down the stretch.
Yeah, one of 8 freshmen on this roster, the only freshman in the starting 11 for Aaron Rodgers. As Ganaki shuts that down and clears it away. Redirected back towards Cammie Taylor. Taylor tries to turn back and slots it ahead. Nicely done. As the Dukes try to find something as Celeste Sloma gobbles that one up. Not too many times today has Celeste Sloma been tested.
Yeah, the clouds just rolled back into Athens. It's been couldn't ask for better weather.
You can't.
On opening day here, about 80 degrees, a little bit of a breeze at our backs up here on the press box. It's been a really nice day, and of course, as the season continues, it's the interesting thing about soccer and the season as a whole is as the season goes, things are, you know, the weather's really going to change over the course of the year. When they play their last game here in late October, it's going to be 50 degrees and probably cloudy, maybe even colder than that, 40s. So, you know, it's such a change as the season goes on, and you know, these players have to adjust to that and be ready for that. And you know, I think some players would actually say they prefer playing in the cold as opposed to the hot, just because the hot you're so, you know, you're sweaty, you feel nasty.
What did you prefer?
And, I think I preferred like 50, 60 degrees, because then, you know, you're not freezing, right? You don't have to, you know, bundle up or anything like that, but it's also you're not breaking into a sweat as soon as you step onto a field. So, this isn't bad, right? This is tolerable. The scrimmage that we were at last week, it was 90 and bearing down in the midday heat, and it was pretty brutal at times. But it's important to practice in that as well, because that's the best way that you can prepare to be able to play at the highest level, is to be able to play in those hot temperatures, because once it gets cold, it gets cold.
3-0 advantage for the home side. Ohio in cruise control, looking to start the season on a high note. A team that was picked 7th in the MAC preseason poll. Buffalo, Western Michigan, Ball State picked 1, 2, 3 respectively, as Ella Devers tries to enter the box, tripped up a little bit outside the box.
Devers has impressed me as well out there at her right wing back position. She's been everywhere on that right side, getting forward, it's caused a lot of problems in the opposition box. Of course, has a goal to her name, and has also been pretty solid defensively. It's a tough job. We've talked about it a couple times on the broadcast today about how, you got to run a lot. You're up and down the field hundreds of times during the game. So, she's done that job, and she's done it very well, and it's probably the job that requires the most stamina on the field because of all that running up and down. So, she's done a really good job, and, in her first game as a Bobcat, the Bowling Green transfer has really impressed.
She did not compete in the fall with Bowling Green. She did compete in the spring with the Falcons, as Duquesne brings on Anna Bundy, number 3 in Navy, a substitute. 25 minutes and change remaining here in the second half. The Bobcats dialed in from the jump, 3-0.
Yeah, you got to think that Coach Rogers is thrilled with how they've come out of the second half. They didn't take their foot off the gas whatsoever. It was all gas, no brakes.
Yes.
There was very little drop-off from the first half to the second half. And I think, as he brought the starters back into the game, he'll have to have been extremely impressed with the level that they maintained throughout this second half, as now we're going to see a ton of changes here. There's about 5 Bobcats getting ready to enter the game over on the far side. He'll be really happy with how his starters looked.
Yeah, both in the first and second half, no question about it. Rayanne Pruss accelerates into the box. Great hustle from Pruss, and also great hustle from Devin Lillis, sophomore defender for Duquesne. Lillis with a 1-touch to Carly Steiner. Now Brooker.
Ohio, once again, we've talked about it, I think 7 or 8 times now, where they've won the ball high up the field, and they've not allowed Duquesne to build out from the back. And once again, Janaki just picking up the pieces and allowing the Bobcats to move forward. It's why Duquesne hasn't been able to build meaningful attacks, is because they can't even get them started, because Ohio's pressure up the field has been so good.
Emily Eustace with a decent cutback there. Doesn't result to anything. Now Bundy, great pass ahead to Emily Eustace. Keeps it in play. Tostavin couldn't block it. Solis lifts it out for a Duquesne throw. Bobcats will be right back at Chesapeake Field next week on Thursday, 4 p.m. start against Cleveland State.
Yeah, it's a busy few weeks here for athletics all around. Of course, high school football getting started tonight. Athens High School in action. Tomorrow it'll be the full slate of games, and then the Bobcat football team active in week 0 next week at San Diego State. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then the volleyball team gets started soon. The field hockey across the street, they'll be in action soon. It's a very busy time here in Athens. Students will be back in just about a week, so it's the town will start filling up again, and it'll be like the Athens of old.
Anna Bundy making a run. Bundy delivers into the box. Decent chance for Duquesne as Celeste Sloma dialed in right there on the shot from Jaden Sharpless.
Yeah, dialed in's a good way to describe it because she was so well positioned. She didn't even have to make a dive. That was a well-placed effort from Duquesne. It was a good shot. But Slomo was so well positioned in her net that she didn't even have to dive. She was just able to slide and shuffle over and then just make a simple catch. So good positioning from Slomo. It's a huge role as a goalkeeper. It's not about, you make the flashy dives and plays, but it's about where you start those is what is so important as a goalkeeper. And she executed there insanely
Shea
well.
Robertson, what a move. And that one's just wide left. That was a crazy deke,
Oh, yeah.
Ethan. That was
I think
she
my
looked
ankles are on the floor
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. That was a ridiculous deke by Shea Robertson.
That'll be her last action.
Yep,
of the day.
she's gonna come off. And we're gonna get to see a couple of new faces, including up top for the first time today, the freshman forward Anna Burchett from Prestonburg, Kentucky. She is a straight-up goal scorer.
Yeah, so the stats, these stats don't even sound real. 275 goals and 99 assists in her high school career at Prestonburg High School. Those are numbers that you think Messi and Ronaldo would struggle to put up in high schools. Even as good as they are, they'd score a lot of goals. Almost 300 in 4 years. That is insanely impressive.
Yeah.
And to bring somebody of that caliber to Athens is huge. Again, we've so many talented freshmen we've already seen today. Here's another one.
Yeah, and regardless of the talent, it's very impressive as Farina charges into the box, falls down. Duquesne player is down in some pain right now.
Yeah, I think she might have gotten stepped on. Or maybe based on that, it might be a little bit of cramp here. Based on that, the player kind of putting the leg up there. I thought that Farina might have stepped on her leg on accident as that play was happening. But it's a little bit of cramp. We just talked about the heat. It's unforgiving, right? And cramp can usually set in around this time of a game. And deep bench is important, but being able to just stretch that out, and hopefully it is just cramp and she is okay.
But yeah, going a little bit more in depth on Anna Burchett, she has scored so many goals, like you mentioned, in her high school career. It's an area that isn't a massive hotbed of soccer, according to Coach Rogers, but Coach Rogers did say that Anna brings a huge heart, and that's, I think, one of the most important things. Speaking of having a huge heart here and a testament of toughness, it is really a good sign to see one of the top defenders, Carly Steiner, up walking and staying in this match.
Yeah, it's good to see her up. But going back to what you said about Burchett, it's so important to have this. Our big theme of the day has been depth, right? About how many Bobcats Coach Rogers feels confident in bringing in off the bench, and just a testament to the confidence that he has in her to be able to bring her off the bench here in a moment like this, where maybe he's not quite ready to start her just yet. But this is, he said, go out there. You've got about 20 minutes to go. Go show me what you got. Go, prove yourself and show that you're ready to compete. And I'm sure that she's chomping at the bit to get that opportunity.
Corner kick for Ohio. Bobcats' fifth corner of the match. Haley Miller with a beautiful ball drifting into the box. Burchett couldn't get that one targeted towards cage. It'll be a Duquesne goal kick.
There is the danger. She just floated into the right spot there and was able to get her head to it just a little wide of the net, so no goal right off the bat. But those are the positions that the coaching staff will like to see her get into because, like we talked about earlier, the most important job of a striker almost isn't what you do on the ball; it's what you do off the ball, and the positions you get yourself into are so important. And Burchett leading the line. That's how those are the sort of positions you want to see your striker get into, especially a young striker who's still trying to acclimate to the college game.
Some Duquesne substitutions. Morgan Kulniszewski checks into the match. Number 17 in Navy, as well as 35 in Navy, Kate Mackey, sophomore from Westchester, Ohio. Prigge wins that ball. Burchett turns that over. 3-0 lead for the Bobcats as Duquesne trying to find something positive. Matissa, great delivery. Shot wide right. The fresh sub getting an opportunity to put one close to cage. Morgan Kulniszewski.
Kulniszewski getting in the right position there, which is, again, what we just talked about positioning. It was a 3-on-3 attack. Prigge lost the ball in midfield to Matissa. Matissa with a nice driving run, but the finish was just a bit lacking. Now here the Bobcats quickly on the counterattack.
Burchett, one touch trying to get it to Farina. And Maddie Neundorfer secures it for Duquesne.
Yeah, the Bobcats wanted a back pass there. If you pass the ball back, if a defender passes it back, you cannot technically pick it up. It would have led to an indirect free kick. But I think the referee adjudged that that wasn't an intentional pass, which means that the goalkeeper can pick it up. Rogers doesn't seem too happy over there. He's behind his players, but has to be pretty happy about the state of the first half.
No doubt.
Or the second half, excuse me, you'd think. They have been very dominant in this second half, and they've shown that they might be a force to be reckoned with this season in the Mid-American Conference.
No question about it. That 7th in the preseason poll seems a little interesting given what they've done in game 1. I know it's early.
Yeah, I mean,
Look, they were picked to win the league last year.
So you can almost flip it on its head, right? Last year they were picked to win the league, and they lose their opening game to Duquesne 2-1, right? Obviously on the road it's a little bit tougher, and Duquesne was a tough opponent, but you know, they lose that game last year. But this year they're setting a different tone. You know, they came into this game, they know that this is the standard that we have to play at, and now, you know, Duquesne, they lost last year, and they bring back a lot of the talent that they had last year. But now Ohio came out making a statement today. You know, up 3-0, and this is the foundation that you build your season on. Starting off with a win like this is something that Coach Rogers will be ecstatic about.
Absolutely, no question about it. We brought this up earlier, but he was fired up in the spring. He was ready for the season to start in the spring. He didn't want it to end the way they competed in the spring. Is Ellie Greenwell making a strong run. This is the freshman Greenwell with the ball. Slots it ahead to Burchett, who can't quite get there, and it's cleared away by Devin Lillis, an Ohio throw.
Just a half second too late there. The pass from Burchett, or not from Burchett, excuse me, from Greenwell. Greenwell with, like you said, a really good run, but just a slight miscommunication. But now quick corners, one Greenwell heads up there to allow that ball to roll out and get a corner. 6th corner of the game for the Bobcats.
Ellie Greenwell out of Notre Dame Academy, the same place former Bobcat Mandy Arnzen was at. Haley Miller will take this corner kick for Ohio. Low liner. Blasted away by LaVecchia. Quentin Tostovan fell down battling with Maya Matissa. Possession awarded to Duquesne.
Yeah, it was a good battle there between Tostovan and Matissa. That Tostovan, I'm not sure. I think they ended up calling that foul on Tostovan, it seems. I thought they originally called it on Matissa, but it seems like Tostovan may have committed a foul before that. So Duquesne ball, and you got to get moving now. 15 minutes left. If you want any chance of salvaging something, you got to get a goal in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, and that might have to come with taking some serious risks.
Yep, absolutely. You're going to have to start playing long balls, try and force the Bobcats into a mistake, a miscommunication, and try and just sneak that ball over the goal line, because if you can't get something soon, they're not going to find a way back into this game with so little time on the clock.
Callie Stock, part of that back line for Ohio right now, along with Maya Solis and Quentin Tostovan.
Yeah, the Northern Illinois transfer, Stock. She played every game as a freshman over with the Huskies, and then she joined Aaron Rodgers' program last season, was a major player last year as well. She will have a big role to play.
Started 8 matches last season, to your point, and Coach Rogers was impressed with the way she played at Dayton this past weekend. 2 more subs coming in for the Bobcats. Tostovan and Pruss will check out. And for the first time today, freshman Malia Peer comes in from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Kennedy Riepel rejoins.
Burchett with a really nice touch on that last play to bring the ball down. The first touch was good. The second touch, not quite. It just kind of rolled away from her. But again, getting into the right positions. You know exactly what you're looking for if you're Coach Rogers, to try and find those passes inside. Greenwell with a good win back there, a strong win back to win that battle, and then was able to secure the throw-in for the Bobcats.
Here's Ellie Greenwell with the throw-in. This is a great opportunity for the Bobcats to get some of these freshmen out there on the park at the same time. Aubrey Ray.
Just another giveaway in a bad area from Duquesne. It's been a theme of their play today. Of just they've given the ball away in the wrong spots, and it just hasn't worked out for them. But today, that clearly something that Coach Alvine and the Dukes will work on in training and as the season continues to grow. Of course, maybe, you think about that second scrimmage and them not having that, right? Some of those mistakes maybe could have been rectified in that second scrimmage. So, again, there will be a lot of kinks and a lot of issues that can be worked out over the course of the season, and I don't think this game is reflective of what the Dukes will be as they enter conference play throughout the year. But they'll look back on this one and they'll see a lot of positives along with, obviously the negatives of the goals that they've conceded, but they'll also see some of the good things that they did.
And certainly worth resurfacing again, Ethan, like we talked about it. Duquesne did not play that second exhibition, which, again, may seem like nothing, but Coach Alvine definitely emphasized the importance of that second exhibition. Really feels like that is the most important exhibition, is that second one, to be able to figure out your rotation a little bit better, that starting 11, what it looks like. And, yeah, he definitely was bummed about it, but he did say that he would have been even more concerned had that scenario that did happen this preseason happen last year, because they were even younger last season.
Yeah, another substitution here for the Bobcats. Off comes Maya Solis, who was pretty impenetrable at the back today. Can't really pick a fault in her performance. She was really, really fantastic back there in her Bobcats debut. In comes Ella Ferguson, who another fifth-year player who's been around the team for a long time, is very experienced, can absolutely slot in at the back, and another one with, meaningful minutes. Just, again, to have a fifth-year senior be able to come off the bench and play meaningful minutes is extremely important, and Ferguson has tons of experience.
Here's Ellie Greenwell. Locates Aubrey Ray. Taps it back towards Greenwell, and she clearly tried to shove off Morgan Klonishevsky. Duquesne maintains.
An interesting fact about Ferguson is that her brother is Duncan Ferguson he's currently on Brighton and Hove Albion in the English Premier League. Very talented young player for Brighton and for Ireland as well. They are of Irish descent. And I'm sure Duncan's supporting the Bobcats from afar.
Ella Bianco with a strong challenge. That'll be a yellow for Bianco. Pardon me, Eve Barish with the strong challenge.
Yeah, Barish had a very good year last year. Won MAC Player of the Week after she scored 2 goals against Akron late in the season to help give the Bobcats in the end, it ended up being a very important game because that game helped secure them home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs. But another center midfield player that can absolutely slot in if Prigge or Janaki is taken off, a midfield player that can come in and make an impact here, as it looks like Duquesne's going to line up and take a strike here from about 35 yards out.
This is going to have to be cooked well. Yellow on Duquesne. Juliana Farino was
looks like there was an awful collision there.
Yeah.
I think that there may have been a hand to the face, whether it was intentional or not.
Trying to wrap around and get towards the cage, I think is what was the idea.
Describe it. Yeah. I mean, those sort of little battles go on all the time on those, those free kicks and corners where, players are jostling for position, trying to find the best way to either defend or attack the goal. So, unfortunately, maybe a hand kind of came up a little too high and struck Farina in the face. Well, regardless, even if that flew in, it wouldn't have counted, as a referee adjudged there to be a foul and gave a yellow card.
Terrific speed on that far side there from Malia Peer, a freshman, number 30 in white. Coach Rogers has a lot of expectations for the future with regards to Peer. Said the sky's the limit for Peer. This team's so deep, it's, you're going to get to a point where just you never know when your name's going to be called.
No, you're very right about that, right? Because, again, we've been talking about it so often is, these freshmen and sophomores that are looking to step up into roles. These are the sort of games where you can stake your claim, where you can stamp your authority in this team. I think, we talked about Jamison Brooker earlier today. I think she really staked her claim in this team today. And, plenty of these other freshmen and sophomores, and even some of the older players, some of the juniors, seniors, and grad transfers that, have been around this team. Some maybe transferred in, but some have been around this team now for 3-4 years, trying to, establish themselves in the 11. Because, look, the starting 11 that came today will likely change throughout the course of the year. And there's going to be adjustments.
Anna Bundy, service ball. No one to be found, though. And that tumbles out for an Ohio goal kick. Well, the Bobcats, looking at their schedule the rest of the way, early on at least, into the later stages of August, early September, they'll be back here at Chesa Field on August the 24th. That's a Thursday against Cleveland State. Then they'll travel to Navy August 27th. Marshall at Marshall August 31st. They'll be home on September 3rd against Northern Kentucky. MAC opener September 21st against Kent State.
Marshall's a fun game. That was a classic football rivalry, the battle for the bell, an old MAC rivalry between Ohio and Marshall. It's only about an hour or so drive to Huntington, West Virginia, where Marshall is. Not very far away. Of course, Marshall used to be a part of the MAC way back when. That was, now we all talk about conference realignment. That was one of the older conference realignments way back in the day. They're in the Sun Belt now. But it should be a good matchup. It is a classic rivalry, but that's also a good program, a really good program that Ohio's seen in the past, and it'll be a good battle, a good team to sharpen yourself against. I like the phrase "iron sharpens iron," right? Building yourself up against the best team so that when you play Kent State and when you really start to build those MAC opportunities, you're ready. And that game, that Marshall game, and those other games will all help this team get ready. And today has been the perfect start so far for the Bobcats.
Bobcats will also face Ohio State, too, in the non-con, as Ellie Greenwell pedals ahead and is sandwiched, falls down.
Yeah, Ohio State's got a really good roster. Lori Walker coaching there, really talented coach, won national championships many times for the Buckeyes, and that talk about testing yourself against the best, right? Always heading up to Columbus. Ohio actually has Ohio State's number recently. They beat them in softball in the spring.
One of the best softball games I've ever seen in person.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun getting that it's a little bit more of a non-traditional rivalry now just because of the size of Ohio State and how big their athletic program is. Of course, you probably won't see Ohio State's football play the Bobcats anytime soon. But, anytime Ohio could get one over on I put this in air quotes, the big brother, it's always nice to see for the Bobcats. So, again, testing yourself against those fantastic teams is something that is, you can't build, right? You can't
Right.
you can't get those games very often. So being able to play those games is so important to test yourself against the best of the best. Of course, Ohio also had a transfer go up there, Olivia Sensky, who might be a familiar name to some of the viewers. She was a center back stalwart here at Chesapeake for a few years, and then transferred up US 33 to Columbus, and is doing very well up there, starting at center back for the Buckeyes.
Maya Matisa. That ball is cut off nicely by Kennedy Reapel. It's an interchangeable back line for Aaron Rodgers to start the season. He really emphasized the depth at that position specifically. Cross goes a bit too far out of reach for Paige Cusis.
Yeah, just a little overhit. But again, at this point now, with about 4 minutes left, Duquesne probably resigned to defeat. So, just trying to build some moves, see what you can do here. Maybe if you can get a consolation goal, build yourself up so that you move on and move forward in a positive way and into your next game, which, you have to do in this sport. You can't rest on your laurels. Ohio can't just sit on this win and say, well, we did it, right? They got to move right on to the next game and prepare. And it's the same for Duquesne. Win or loss, you have to be ready to play your next matchup. So no rest for the weary.
Great job to turn and create some separation there for Burchett.
Yeah, Farina, who's been a little bit quieter in the second half than she was in the
my
first
goodness,
half.
has her engine been?
Yeah.
When she turns it on, it's really tough
but even there, just with 3 minutes left in this game, she's still fighting for every ball. But even up 3-0 in the 87th minute, trying to fight and claw her way towards the goal. So, that's something that the coaching staff will love to see out of that player, is just to be, to show that effort this late in a game, even when it may not matter all that much, is something that's crucial for a staff.
Ohio goals today from Izzy Boyd, her second career goal, Ella Devers, the Bowling Green transfer, and Scout Murray, leading to this 3-0 advantage to start the 2023 fall slate. Coach Rodgers has been able to play a bunch of players here this afternoon, which is definitely promising to be able to get a lot of people into this match, especially the freshmen getting their first taste of regular season Division I soccer.
Yeah, a lot of good takeaways from this Bobcats opening game. A lot of good things to take into the rest of their schedule. I think that there's a really good foundation to build upon here. A lot of attacking talent. They were strong defensively today as well. Didn't really give Duquesne many opportunities on the attacking side, and a lot of positivity and a lot of good things to look forward to for the Bobcats. And now we've got a stoppage.
Yeah, Coach Rodgers, a couple of takeaways from the exhibitions. He said that he wants his team to improve in terms of knowing where to be at the right time. But he did say when his team holds their shape, they are dangerous and very difficult to break down. I think they've really solidified themselves in this match.
Yep.
From the start.
I would agree. I would absolutely agree. I think that they've especially in the second half, they've just imposed themselves. They've been, they've exerted their will on Duquesne, and they've been able to build what they want to build in those first 15 minutes of the second half, were some of the best soccer I've seen this team play in years. It was really good, building in so many different ways. It was the long ball. It was short interplay. Coach Aaron Rodgers' favorite shape is the triangle, and it's so important on the soccer field to build those triangles because, you'll see players build connections through those triangles, and it's a really simple shape to build your shape out of. Two different definitions of shape there. But Coach Rodgers will really like to see the interplay that he saw from his team, and like I said, there's a lot to build on, and it's an exciting performance.
Ellie Ferguson sends that one into the bleachers as the final seconds drip away here on the regular season opener. Bobcats sending a message early in the 2023 season, a 3-0 victory over the Duquesne Dukes behind goals from Scout Murray, Ella Devers, and Izzy Boyd. Ethan, your final thoughts on what we witnessed today?
Like I said, I think that this is a great foundation to build upon. I think that you have to be extremely happy for Coach Rodgers and the Ohio coaching staff looking at this season as a whole. I think that you have, this is the start. You want to start your season on a high note. You want to start your season positively, and I don't think there's a better way to start than a 3-0 victory, and a confident victory at that. It was a dominant 3-0 win, and a lot to build on for the Bobcats. They are very, very dominant today, and looking forward to see what they do over the next few weeks.
No doubt about it. Well, we appreciate those of you for joining us throughout the course of the afternoon and into the evening hours. For my broadcast partner, Ethan Sargent, our outstanding crew led by Jordan Bowes, I'm Sam Hyman. Have a great rest of your night, and thanks for watching.